Posers. What's up, folks? This is Justin Garcia, a.k.a. Master Chim, and I am here with the white poser.
The white poser.
Lack of creativity.
I'm actually not white.
Patrick Kelly, White Boy Pat.
What's up?
And welcome to another episode of The Pressure Project. ThePressureProject.com is the website. Info@ThePressureProject.com is our contact email. If you feel like joining our membership site and checking it out, you can go to TheWarriorProject.com and you can basically see the prices. Right?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of stuff outside the wall, so to speak.
You can see the Pressure Project stuff, and you can see the Warrior Project episops.
Right.
And that's it. And you can see all the power programs that you
can't, so the Warrior Project podcast, which is the podcast that I did, and the Warrior Project podcast, just so people know that don't know already, was a project that I decided to do that I was going to make a podcast 20 minutes or less.
Yeah, they were short.
No cursing.
Yeah.
That was my rule, because I was getting too many people that wanted to know about my stuff but didn't want to either sit through a long form type episode like these and also didn't want to have all the profanity.
It was similar to the Canon episodes. You kind of created like a
just like a segment
chunk.
And at the end, I interviewed KD, which is like the anomalous last episode of it.
Hysterical.
I'll still record Warrior Project episodes, when I think there's a topic that I want to sort of create that.
They were really good.
That modular thing. They were to the point.
Yeah.
And they've actually been pretty useful for me, useful to me, because it's allowed me to send people there
100%.
to get up on a topic before we continue talking and whatnot.
Also, when people find the secret group on Facebook and don't know about, like, I've had people like request membership or request information. Send them there. They get to check that out. They check out the pressure. It's a good little chunk of this is what it's about.
Right. So part of the Warrior Project, the membership site, is we have a private
not
Facebook
secret
group. And if you're not a member, obviously you're not going to get on the Facebook group. And we do quite a bit of discussing. I almost said discussing behind the scenes on some pretty cool topics. I do a live video there once a week.
Yep.
And it's pretty good. So you can check that out. What other announcements?
That's it.
That's it, really?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Everything else, just stay. Oh, well, if you're not in the Master Chim letter,
definitely
go to masterchim.com, put in your email, and it'll sign you up to my daily morning email list.
And the new power program's out also.
And the new power program's out. A Stronger Parent.
Yeah.
A Stronger Parent was pretty good. I enjoyed doing it.
Solid. It carried on right where that email series left off, which was awesome.
Yeah, that was like my little power program.
It was good, though. It was good.
Yeah, and I'll do that on the emails. Sometimes, it's a one-off. Like today, I made a one-off.
Yeah.
A lot of observational stuff. Sometimes it's announcements. Sometimes I do multi-email series. People like that, the countdowns and stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Good stuff.
I enjoyed it. So today we're talking about posers. So how would you define a poser, Pat?
Someone who pretends to be something they're not.
Right. So
or represents something falsely.
Right. So growing up, we didn't use this word.
No.
Like, it wasn't until I was in college before I started hearing the word poser.
We use it a lot because
it's like it's a point pleasant thing.
Yeah. Poser and wigger, those are the two.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, in my neighborhood, the wiggers we called white people because that's how
Understood.
It worked. That's how
we only had one black person in our neighborhood, and he was Puerto Rican. That's a joke, but it's funny.
It's one of my favorites. But yeah, so in my neighborhood, like there were some legitimate, like
Posers.
white people, but I was the white boy in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
But even I, Garcia, I got the built-in tannin lotion. Like, I wasn't really. But anyway, the name, the word rather, poser, it wasn't something that we used.
I see.
Like we'd say, somebody was full of shit.
Fronting.
Yeah, fronting. There you go. Very good. Very good. Keeping up on your street jargon.
All of it.
Like when I was with the Italians, it was Fugazi.
Fugazi,
You know, like these types. But poser wasn't something. But anyway, conceptually, it's the guy or the person who presents himself to be something they're not. So it's one of my peeves, sort of an inconsistency in a man.
Yeah.
You know, the I'm this on Monday, I'm this on Tuesday, and they are not the same thing. And
Yeah.
you know, and people just not, you know, sometimes it's they're just misrepresenting themselves. Sometimes they're just not paying attention enough or investing enough to realize that they're being inconsistent. You know, it's the guy who, you know, talks about loyalty and this and that, and he's on his third wife. You know, he complains about his job every day. It's like he hasn't really done the thinking necessary to sort of reconcile all these things to the point where they're congruent. All right, so what I did was I created 4 categories that we're going to go over today. And there's probably more.
Yeah.
There's definitely more, but I could probably think of more right now. But these four are the ones that I think I most run into. And I want to discuss them a little bit.
Cool. Sounds good.
And so let's start off with number 1. So number 1 is actually one of the categories of student in my instructor class. So
It is.
in the Jungle Gym, I created an instructor certification course, the ICC. And one of the components is going over the different categories or the archetypes of students that come in. Now, this course is about teaching students how to become instructors.
Yeah.
So it's basically letting them know, listen, as an instructor, these are the different types of students you'll see. We equip them with the tools to be able to coach them more effectively. And number 1 is the look at me.
Yeah.
The look at me. What does the ICC say about the look at me? That I wrote.
The ICC says about the look at me that this is the person that has the potential to ruin the room. Someone that wants to impress everyone but doesn't know how and goes about it the wrong way. Right. Drawing negative attention on themselves.
Right. So it's this sort of insecurity-based slave mindset, usually fueled by an arrogance. You know, it's the type of person that is very, very concerned about what other people think of them, but can't stop initiating other people looking at them.
Yeah.
You know, it's not the person that sort of becomes more introverted and sort of pulls back from social situations. These are the people that are loud, boisterous, just all over the place. So as a poser, what you see with a look at me is somebody who they're defined by people acknowledging them, about people signing off on who they're portraying themselves to be. So they're not somebody who is led by or inspired by, driven by the sort of being an individual that exists without those other opinions.
Yeah.
You know? So if somebody is a vegan, like they know no matter what goes on, they're not going to eat animal-based products. Fucking terrible, by the way. Absolutely terrible. But that is what defines them.
Yeah.
You know, what everybody else is eating is irrelevant. What is available is irrelevant. Like they're not going to eat animal products because they're a vegan. So the look at me is the somebody who will tell people that they're not eating animal products, won't eat animal products in front of people, but may eat them when nobody's watching.
Yeah.
Because that is the, you know, the fallacy of that type of, you know, approach to being, you know, who you are.
Chicken Parmesan's not vegan.
What was that show? Was it Jessica Simpson?
The tuna of the sea?
Chicken of the Sea?
Yeah, Chicken of the Sea.
And she could not understand why tuna was called Chicken of the Sea?
Yeah. That was it. Yeah. She was like, but it's chicken, right? He's like, no, it's tuna.
Some rack on her.
The chicken.
After all that, that's what you remember.
I like
some rack.
One of my favorite movies, Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Oh God! Did we see that?
Yeah, we did. Well, no, we saw it. We saw it on a trip, like at the hotel. But there's a part with vegan powers, and he had gelato. He's like, gelato's not vegan. It's like, it's milk and eggs, bitch. He loses his vegan psychic powers. I thought it was funny. Give it another chance.
So terrible.
Give it another
That
chance.
movie was so fucking terrible.
I missed.
You've told me about some great movies, but you told me about some terrible ones.
Have I?
Yeah, that was terrible.
I watched it for the first time with you. So
You
I
like the Ozarks. We were just talking about it.
Yeah, Ozarks is good.
I think that's well.
You only saw one
I
episode.
only saw one episode, admittedly.
It's good.
Lost. Fuck Lost. But you know what? All these other people like Lost and Ozark. So I'm willing to acknowledge it might be me. But you know what? I have a master's mindset. So it's all about me anyway.
It's true. You gotta give. I would say give Lost a chance too. You stop.
Lost. I've already heard they gave me the punchline of the whole fucking thing.
It's different when you see it though.
Oh my God. So to look at me as somebody who they're the fucking tough guy that you know isn't fucking tough.
They're the guy who has the pictures, getting ready for my fight, but they're not fighting. Like,
right.
But they're constantly on Facebook. Oh man, getting ready, in it to win it, whatever other fucking hashtags, and everyone knows they're not doing that.
You got to look at me cultures. All the kids in the fucking projects with gold chains.
Yeah,
and
TVs and
stealing people's fucking jackets. So you have a jacket that gives you some status. Like, think about having status from a jacket.
Yeah, or a pair of shoes.
How fucking useless. But you know what? Like, I grew up in that environment. Like, when people have nothing, it you create your own currency. We just got finished watching the movie Lord of the Flies with my kids, and it's like if whoever had the conch shell,
Yeah,
it's like that is the symbol of power and status. Like, you can make whatever you want, but when you have these, I remember growing up in the Bronx here and having everybody so obsessed with the name brands on their shirts.
Yeah.
And it never made any sense to me.
With everyone, there was always like that in high school.
Yeah, and I think, not that I was above it. I think I was fortunate in that it just, just my personality. Like, I didn't relate to that. Whole, like, who gives a fuck if it says Nike across my chest or something like that.
FUBU.
Right. A lot of FUBU shirts in my schools growing up. For us, by us.
Yeah, sure. Uhuru.
Uhuru.
That's the new shirt. That's the new shirt.
For Ugandans, by Ugandans. So, yeah. So, like, to me, to look at me, it's they're probably the most annoying type of poser.
Yeah. I would agree.
But we have to say too that I don't think we have to, but I think it helps to suggest or define like why being a poser is bad to begin with.
Yeah.
We didn't really do that because the
thought
problem
it was in the set, like being something you're not.
Right. So it's
pretty much.
But like what's the difference between a poser or like a spy or like
that's for
dressing up, and putting forward, a different version of you on a first date or in a job interview, like shit like that. So you're also misrepresenting yourself to some extent, but it's very mission based, and it's not reactionary. It's still a master's mindset.
Putting forth the best version of you in a smaller time frame, like a timeline where they're going to know you for this amount of time. Putting the best foot forward is strategy, as opposed to these people who,
right.
This is them forever, and they're just
and it's approval.
False. Yeah,
they're looking for it. I think it's the master slave dichotomy. Yeah. It's if you're misrepresenting yourself because of a reason that you deem to be valuable to you, strategically, like you said, or otherwise, like then it's inherently different, And I think when the posers we're talking about are the people who are not doing that, where it's not a well thought out sort of strategy or plan to lead to an end that is justified.
Bruce Jenner. Right, he wants his dick back.
Does he?
I don't know.
Who has it?
Somebody.
But now think about Bruce Jenner.
He might have never cut it off.
No, I don't think he did.
I think it's all bullshit. It's potentially all bullshit.
But I think he's him saying, but he still got his tits done.
Yeah, but that can be undone, I guess, right?
So
Maybe
I guess at
once.
his age, like, what the fuck is the
I
difference?
don't know.
You know?
He's not going to the Olympics again.
But like, so I was born a woman in a man's body. Like we all know that's bullshit now, right? Like, dude, are we still discussing this like it's a real thing? But have we gotten to? Because I'm waiting to. Because I think the next stage is everybody knows it's bullshit, but then the argument becomes, but you can't tell them it's bullshit. You know, like don't let them in on the secret, but we all know they're retarded.
Yeah, I guess
You
it
know what
could
I mean?
be where we end up.
But
Protect the children.
But I like that Bruce Jenner, when he became Caitlyn Jenner, said, I'm still into chicks.
Yeah.
Like, he never said he was into dudes.
Yeah.
Like, don't call me no faggot.
It's like, that's one step too far. What is he? I guess he's a hetero. No.
He's a lesbian.
Yeah, he's a lesbian. Check. I am a male
Who would have thought when he won the fucking gold medal on the Wheaties box, we were looking at a lesbian the whole time?
I don't know. Time travelers.
Oh, my God. So, to look at me, not very good.
Yeah.
Let's go on to number two.
Number two,
they're all annoying, because I was about to say this one's annoying, but I said it for the last. They're all annoying. Number two is I'm just like you.
Just like you.
I'm just like you. It's like the guy who... it's the guy who portrays himself to be tough because either you're tough or you value toughness. But then he does some things in his own life that are the antithesis of what it is he's trying to sort of partner or recruit you with.
Yeah.
You know? And I think the I'm just like you is very much the recruiter. It's like me, you, same, right?
Yeah.
You know? And I think when you have people who you see, again, tracking their anomalous behavior, tracking their inconsistencies,
Yeah.
you know, it's very easy to peg men like this.
Yes.
So-
exactly. Great choice of words.
So it's it's something that it's something that I think you should track because again, it's an inconsistency. It's somebody misrepresenting themselves. It's somebody who is using a strategy to recruit you onto their side into some sort of alliance or to manipulate it, persuade you somehow. And the I'm just like you is somebody who I think is more effective with the person who really wants to validate themselves. So the person who he himself is looking for approval,
Yeah.
I think is very easily persuaded or much more easily persuaded by the I'm just like you types.
That makes sense. Yeah.
It's like, you're awesome, right? Yeah, I'm awesome. Like the guy's leaving his house looking for somebody to tell him he's awesome today.
Yeah.
Well, the first guy that tells him he's awesome, it's like, yeah, you're my guy.
Yep.
You know, like we're cool now because, you know, you're giving me the attention that I want. And you know, you look I'm just like you. It's people who are, you know, merchant types. It's like, you know, I'm a copywriter. The first thing you want to do is explain to people in your copywriting, in your sales, that, you know, this is just about you. Like, this is just for people like you. Everybody that does this thing or buys this thing is just like you, right? So the I'm just like you is very much, by design, a persuasion strategy. So it's
100%.
something to track. So the thing is, they might be just like you. It might be legitimate. So it's not anybody that portrays themselves to be just like you is bad. It's a poser. But this is a type of poser. This is the front that they put on to deceive you. So again,
100%.
it's checking the anomalous behavior.
Yeah.
You know, if you're the guy who, again, I like using vegan because it only pisses off the people that I think are safe to piss off, the vegans. But if somebody, you know, like if you're a vegan, Pat, if you're a vegan.
Okay, I'm a vegan.
And somebody comes up to you and says, I'm a vegan too.
Awesome. Let's fuck. No.
Right?
I mean,
Eggplants all around.
eggplants.
So if you guys are now both vegans,
we're
notice
both
I didn't make
vegans.
myself
Yeah,
vegan.
I noticed.
This
I
is
like
the third
olive.
guy. So you and this third guy, like let's say you go out to eat, it's your vegan buddy.
Yeah.
It's tough to be a vegan,
tough.
right? Trying to be a man and all, very
Yeah.
congruent. So you and him go out to eat, you share your vegan stories.
Yeah.
Like you're bonding. There's an alliance there.
Yeah.
And then you go and see him, you catch him eating a fucking steak sandwich somewhere. It's like, Harry, I thought you were a fucking vegan. Like we had all
What
these
happened?
vegan talks. What the fuck happened?
We used to be beautiful.
We used to be beautiful. I don't know how to quit you. So, this is the problem with, or I should say, this is the value of tracking people's anomalous behavior. Because this is how they sort of get under the radar. This is how they creep in behind the wall. They portray themselves. But if you're somebody who is so himself looking for this, this external validation, these are the problems these are the problems that you will suffer from. You're very easily persuaded.
And you get this in the training realm, both the tactical aspect and also MMA. The guys who go to a lot of things and want to be that way, but they're not.
I was just talking to my wife the other day about how, in the jungle gym, I can't train the people the way I would like to train the people, completely at least, because I don't have the leverage to make them go through what they would need to go through to progress as quickly as they can.
Yeah.
It's like if I took every one of the students of the jungle gym and brought everybody to an island, and in 6 months we were going to have a death battle with another school that was training on another island.
Yeah.
Like training would be different.
Some people might not survive that training.
That's right. And trimming the fat.
Yeah.
Now, when you look at, why is it that I don't do that in my school now? It's because I don't have that leverage. We're not on an island.
Yeah.
We don't have a 6-month deadline for fighting for our lives.
Yeah, there isn't something.
It's too easy to leave. And this is also how I provide for my family. So there's a certain level of pressure that needs to maintain the alliance, the bond.
Yeah.
But I can't go beyond that because I don't have the leverage to reinforce it.
Yeah, 100%.
But when you look at like the Warrior Elite classes that I teach on, like those are my classes. Like those are
100%.
the ones that I teach. And my more senior guys that are there, they know it's different. And it's one of those things to represent yourself as like, so let's say a martial artist. This ties back to the point of the I'm just like you. You're not just like me. No. I look at a lot of the guys that are in the sport world of jiu-jitsu or in this for different reasons. And again, it's not even a value judgment. Like, you all fucking suck. I'm a warrior. You're a bunch of bitches. Like, I'm not saying that at all. I don't even believe that, at all. It's just that I'm not like you and you're not like me.
Now, would the cargo cults fall into number 2?
A cargo cult. A cargo cult could fall into 2, also 4 to some extent.
That's true. If they don't know any better.
Right. So we'll get into that, but
check.
A cargo cult is worth, bring that up in 4. We'll discuss that a little bit more.
Okay.
All right, so let's move on to number 3. Number 2 again was the I'm just like you. Number 3. Number 3 is that isn't cool anyway.
Yeah, those are.
All right, so Jack Donovan has his flamboyant dishonor term. And this is exactly what that is. It's the guy who, in lieu of being able to achieve and acquire status in a given endeavor, opts instead to condemn that said endeavor.
Yeah.
If I can't lift weights because I'm too weak and everybody around me is creating a social status based on lifting weights, I will begin to undermine the validity of lifting weights as a status symbol.
Yeah.
It's easier for me to just sit here and condemn the whole thing entirely than to try and actually achieve something in it.
It's like the guy who doesn't want to do jiu-jitsu because too many balls.
Yeah, like
There's too many balls touching me. It's like,
yeah, oh, I want to roll around with men all day. It's like, so what I'm a fag like to you? Is that what you're saying?
is that what you're saying?
Are you accusing me of being a homosexual right now? It's like I've said before. It's like everything that I could do to you, you're lucky I'm not some sort of fucking gay rapist.
Because you'd be pregnant.
So when you look at the "that isn't cool anyway" mindset, it's based on an insecurity, but manifested differently than the number one, the look at me's.
Yeah.
That isn't cool anyway isn't somebody who knows how to go to the bottom of a ladder and begin climbing. They want to maintain a certain level of status right off the bat. It's like somebody who wants to start jiu-jitsu as a purple belt, as a brown belt.
Yeah.
They're not somebody who's willing to put on a white belt and just put his head down and start training. So how would they represent themselves as posers? Because they are portraying themselves to have an authority on the thing that they are condemning.
Yeah.
Well, lifting weights is bullshit anyway. Well, in saying that, you are portraying yourself to be somebody who has the qualifications to make that assessment.
Yeah. Like a guy who strictly does body weight stuff.
Right.
Body weight's the only thing you should do. Never lift weights. Because I'm the body weight expert. So.
Right.
Okay.
Well, that's what happened with me. I used to do body weight, but I got so strong I had to add more body weight so I could lift. There's a better joke in there somewhere, but the "that isn't cool anyway" guy.
You can go back to the vegans too, right? Eating meat's bad.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. The thing is with vegans is
that isn't cool anyway.
They span the spectrum of positions on veganism.
Yeah.
Like some people, it's about killing animals.
Yeah.
Those are the weakest of the bunch, I think.
Yeah. There was a great meme or something posted that said, you know how many animals I have to kill to make your fucking vegan food?
It was Ted Nugent.
It was Ted Nugent.
On Joe Rogan show.
Ted Nugent. Saw it on Facebook.
Yeah, everybody has the clips, and it was perfect. When you talk about all the animals that die. But again, it's almost like I guess it's the "I'm just like you." No. Here we go. I think this is probably a different type of poser. It's the person who, has the two black kids, the handbags, fucking
collect all
Luther
three
and Umbuku.
Yeah.
Because they are seeing themselves as getting a certain status by having these kids.
Yeah.
And, it's not that the kids don't need help or anything, but it's their intention is very status based.
You get that isn't cool anyway with people that say don't have kids.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Kids are bullshit.
Yeah, no, I could never. There was a guy that used to train here. He used to say, I'm too ambitious in my career to, have children, and, all they're going to do is, or something to the effect that people that have children, people that don't have a career, people that don't have things
goals
to do, that they've got. It's like you're a fucking retard. It's like you're an absolute an easy thing to tell if you're a moron is if what it is that you're supporting, what you're fighting for, if scaled up, would end the species.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's an easy thing as a litmus test of whether or not you're a fucking idiot or not.
No more kids, aka the end.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all. So, that's number 3. Let's go to number 4.
Number 4.
Number 4 is the tard.
Tard. Yeah.
Now, the tard is basically either one of the first 3 or any other ones, but it's because they're just stupid.
Yeah, they're completely just clueless.
Like, some people don't understand. Like, you'll see sometimes American Idol.
American Idol.
The people that go on American Idol.
Yeah,
and they legitimately think they could sing.
Some people started doing that on purpose.
Well,
but,
yeah, that's
the ones who really are fucking completely dumbfounded that they're horrible.
Like, there are some who are not terrible enough to know that they're full of, they're full of shit.
Yeah.
but like legitimately are trying and think like they got it.
Yeah, and they're fucking shocked that they didn't get it.
Like, I'm convinced that everybody has at least one song they think they could sing well.
Yeah, maybe.
Everybody. I'm throwing it out there. Probably more than one, but I would say just to make the position, everybody has at least one song that they could sing well. What song can you sing well, Pat?
I'm trying to think. As soon as
you don't
said
sing
that,
it in front of anybody.
I don't know.
Because subconsciously you know you can't fucking sing.
Yeah.
But consciously, if somebody, I could sing this song. I can.
Probably a Mel Torme song. No, I have no idea. I really don't know. I'm trying to think of one. I don't know.
You don't sing in the shower or anything?
I sing all the time.
What do you sing?
Like whatever song's on the radio, I'll sing.
Do you?
Yeah, not really.
Like Debbie Gibson?
Like Debbie Gibson. I'm like fucking driving with the windows down, singing like a lunatic. No, I don't know.
Hair in the Wind?
Hair in the Wind. Beard in the Wind. I don't know. Probably Wind
Summer
Beneath
Wind.
My Wings. I don't know. I really don't know.
Summer Wind, Frank Sinatra.
Summer Wind, that's good. I'll go with My Way, Frank Sinatra, then, because I can sing that.
See, it didn't take much.
Yeah, My Way. That would be the one. Like, if we're doing, let's say we were fucking forced.
Right.
Forced by our group saying, we're going to do karaoke. Everyone pick a song. I would do My Way.
Yeah, I'd probably do Summer Wind. Not a broad spectrum of notes, like it's nice and even.
I'd probably do it with a British accent. I'd do the Sid Vicious version of My Way. Yeah.
Who's Sid Vicious?
He was from the Sex Pistols. The guy who died because he killed his girlfriend. He killed his girlfriend, and then he died of heroin. He stabbed her.
He killed his girlfriend.
He killed his girlfriend. They said he didn't get arrested, or he got arrested, released, and then he died of an overdose after he got released from killing her.
Fucking loser.
Yeah, he's a
sounds like a fucking
sounds
loser.
like he's a complete piece of shit, but he does a funny version of My Way.
I never heard it.
Yeah.
So when I was
the
young,
retard.
yeah, he's a tard.
Yeah.
When I was young, I was in the church choir.
I did that in 5th grade.
I was a tenor in the church choir in St. Philip Neri,
fucking A.
Grand Concourse in the Bronx. Now, mind you, I was in 4th grade, so I was 9.
Yeah.
Then my balls dropped, and it was a wrap.
5th grade, I did the chorus. We did like, I Can Do Anything Better Than You. No, You Can't. That whole thing. Who was that? Gershwin? I don't even remember. There was a girl I liked in the choir, the chorus, so I joined that. But then I realized in 5th grade that it's a waste of time to like girls and wait until they get older.
All right, I was about to say.
No, I meant
clean
like.
that up, Pat.
No, it's like she came over my house with my parents, and we're sitting there. I'm like, this is fucking retarded. Like, what do we do? Oh, hey, I'm gonna wait until they're ready to fuck. Like, that's in my head. I'm like, this is a waste of time.
Right.
And then, when I got an 18-year-old girlfriend when I was 15, that ended up being. Oh. Then I was like, all right, this is what it should be.
Right.
Not fucking sitting there.
Started.
Yeah. Anyway.
I get it.
So that was the last chorus I was a part of because that formula sucked.
I went to Catholic school until 5th grade, and then I went to public school. I was in a chorus in 7th and 8th grade in my junior high school. And, like, I would audition for solos and everything.
Oh, yeah? Fucking A.
But for some reason, I was never a very good singer, but I was average, and I was confident because I enjoyed singing.
There you go.
I had this
stage
fucking
presence.
teacher. I had presence and all of that. I had this teacher in high school then. This was in Tuckahoe High School. So I went to a bunch of different high schools.
Yeah, a bunch.
So in sophomore year, I left Bronx Science, went to Tuckahoe High School, and I had this music teacher, this woman. I could not stand this bitch. So what she would do is, at that point, I was 14, 15. Like, I was already starting to become rough around the edges if I wasn't already at that point. But I loved singing.
Yeah.
So I would be in the chorus, and with chorus, it was an even better sort of outlet if you enjoy singing, because the group dynamic compensates for any weakness that you have in your individual singing ability. So I would go to chorus, and I would enjoy singing, enjoy participating, and she would always accuse me of not singing because she would look at me and assume that I think I'm like too cool for school for this.
You're just doing the you're kind of moving your
so
mouth.
she would, and it was like, if I look back at people like in my past who I thought like just looked at me and prejudged me,
Yeah.
and never gave me an opportunity, it's that fucking music teacher bitch.
Yeah.
That bitch. I forgot her name. I'd shout her out if I knew it. And she was on the younger side too.
Oh yeah.
Which is probably there's something to be said for that, because she didn't have enough teaching experience to get that.
Yeah.
I was passionate. She didn't see my passion, Pat. I was pissed off.
That's fucked up.
So, tards. No matter where in life you're looking, there's something to be said for people who are just too stupid to get it right. It comes off as such an arrogant statement.
It does.
But it's fucking true, man. Like, there's some people who, it's like, don't you realize this guy's just not smart enough to do this? This gets into so many other topics.
It does.
You know, but it's one of these things that people don't understand. Like, they think that intent is everything. You know, what is it? The road to hell is paved with good intentions?
Yeah.
It's like there's a certain point where no matter how much you want something to be so, there's a limitation on its potential in reality. You know, like there are things that, like I played basketball growing up. Right? I grew up in the fucking Bronx. Of course I played basketball. I really enjoyed basketball.
Yeah.
If I went to the best basketball leagues and had the best basketball coaches and was on the best basketball teams, I'm still not going to be in the NBA.
Yeah.
Because my absolute potential of development in basketball is lower than the minimum requirement necessary to play in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like, I accept that. Like, there are certain things that I just, it's hard to say can't do, but I'm not going to do. Let's put it that way. Fucking plumbing.
Yeah.
Now, I like to think that I'm smart enough to figure shit out. No pun intended.
That's funny.
But I also know that I do not have a lot of patience.
Yeah.
We were just talking. We went and visited my my father's grave for the first time yesterday. Me and my mother and my brother, and we were talking about my father. You know, reminiscing and stuff. And we were talking about one of his superpowers. One of his superpowers was patience.
Patience.
So he was an HVAC engineer, right? He fixed
Yeah.
air conditioners and stuff, and he did it, you know, in Mount Sinai Hospital, but he also did it as a side business. And I told you, like, there were times as a kid we'd pull over and throw a fucking air conditioner that was in the garbage in the trunk of the car.
Yeah.
And my father had like an air conditioning junkyard in my backyard. Like,
Yeah.
he'd use parts from one to fix 3 other ones. He'd sell them. He'd make money. But one of the things that he prided himself on was as a troubleshooter. So his patience and ability to sit there and just work it out, you know, was at such a high level. It's what partially made him so great at being an air conditioning guy.
Yeah.
He would figure it out.
Yeah.
Like, he would not get frustrated. There were times my brother was saying that he'd be working on an AC all day, and he'd call it a day at some point, and the thing wasn't fixed.
Okay.
And my brother would say, you know, like, what are we going to do with it? He said, I don't know. I'll do it. I'll continue tomorrow. I'll figure it out. Like, completely content
Yeah.
to play the long game.
That's awesome.
So people have, like, different abilities. But, like, my father was not a high-level mathematician. Me and all the things that I'm good at and not good at, like, I don't have patience. Any job that requires me, it's one of the things that, it's why hunting is therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
Because I got to sit there in the fucking woods and not go crazy.
Understood.
I had a close group of brothers of mine, and shout out to all you guys that are listening. I remember we had a talk one day, and we were on a trip, and I'm talking about, you know, hunting and stuff, and through the conversation, they're like, well, what do you mean you're on your phone? Like, what do you mean you
Yeah.
have your headphones? Like, how long is it taking you to get to your tree stand? Like, what are you doing when you first get into the woods? Like all these things. I'm like, I don't know. Like, if I see an animal, it's fucking dead. Like, they're like, yeah, you're never going to see an animal that way.
Yeah,
because without being shown these things, it's not something that I am naturally, inclined to do.
Yeah.
Like, there is some change involved. But when I look at how people assess their ability to do certain things, some of them never are willing to sort of acknowledge or make room for the idea of them just not being smart enough.
True.
It's like, some people say it, it's like, how come you didn't go to Harvard? Oh, I wasn't smart enough. But it's like, why don't you get a mechanic's job? You know what? You go there, you got some guy yelling at you, you're busting your ass all day. It's like, no, you're probably not smart enough to do that.
Yeah.
But they'll never say that. So when you look at the TARD category of posers, they are people who misrepresent themselves, probably subconsciously.
Yeah.
But they're too stupid to realize it. I remember having a student once who was all about MMA. I'm going to be a fighter. I want to make it to the UFC. And trained all the time. He had all the equipment. It was fucking terrible. He was terrible.
Yeah.
I would continue to train him, but he was terrible. Like these, 2 left feet type of fucking guys.
Yeah.
And I was content training him because his ladder was his ladder. He was certainly getting progress, but it was almost like, watching a fucking plant grow. It's like you don't actually see the growth. You know?
One day it's there.
Right, and that is how his training was going. But he was oblivious. And every single time he'd get his ass kicked, he'd sit there wondering, why? How am I... This guy that joined after me is fucking 10 times better than me. How?
Yeah.
And he could never get... Because I also, I'm not the guy to fucking pull wind out of people's sails.
True.
But at some point, it probably... might have helped me, not him, to just go, listen, you are terrible at this. Tomorrow, let's hope to be terrible -1.
Yeah.
Terrible -2. Terrible, it's going to be the process it's going to be. I know another guy. This guy wanted to be a bodybuilder. Oh, I know him. He doesn't listen to the podcast, but I've known this guy over 20 years. Has been in I don't know how many bodybuilding shows.
Yeah.
I know for a fact has been on fucking enough steroids to make his piss glow in the dark. The guy has no muscles. It makes no sense to me. This guy's legitimately in the gym every day.
Yeah.
I've seen him work out hundreds of times because I was working out right next to him.
Yeah.
I know this guy was on the sauce since the 90s, off and on.
But just never, it didn't work.
This guy has no muscle.
Yeah.
So he walks around, they call it invisible lat syndrome. They walk around flexing. That's how he walks around. And he talks like he's this accomplished bodybuilder. Because one of the things about bodybuilding, it's like, if you're in a division that's got 3 guys,
yeah,
you're in 3rd place.
Every time.
All you got to do is register.
Yeah.
So he's got a lot of these trophies, sometimes even 1st place trophies, because there's nobody there. But you walk in his house, you just see a shit ton of trophies.
Yeah, I get
I've
it.
never been to his house. I'm assuming that's what it looks like, because I've seen him win all these trophies in different bodybuilding competitions. The guy's got no muscle. But he is oblivious to the fact that he has no muscle. He legitimately thinks he is a successful bodybuilder.
Interesting.
Which I guess is an argument for, because he wins trophies, but as far as the development, of his muscles, he's terrible.
Huh. Yep.
He always looks like he used to lift weights.
I get it.
At his best. He looks like he stopped lifting weights 2 years ago.
Check.
But he's oblivious to it. That's the tard.
Yeah.
That's the tard poser. Completely oblivious.
And then cargo cult.
Oh, all right. So cargo cult is is interesting because a cargo cult it's named after the native cults of the Pacific post World War II, when a lot of these islands that were used as forward bases for the Allies would basically set up camps and these impromptu bases on these islands with technology that these people have never seen before. And one of the observations made was post World War II, when all of these Allied forces pulled out of these places, they still left the runways, they still left the infrastructure that was unmovable or untransferable was left there. And at a lot of these native cultures, what they would do is they would attempt to mimic what was occurring during the war to try and get the same type of consequences. Case in point, they would, with like bamboo, like make planes and stuff and put them on runway and make signals to the sky, like, air traffic control because there would be cargo planes that would drop goods, and these people would benefit to some extent from these goods, and they would try to reproduce that. It's like, if we put these plane-looking objects here and these building-looking objects, and we do these movements on this field, supplies will drop from the sky. Like, they had no understanding of what the fuck was going on.
No.
So hence the term cargo cults. And when you have people who are trying to represent it, but they don't realize what it takes, it's like, this falls into that same type of category. And absolutely, but it's a subconscious stupidity. It's like some people just aren't fucking smart enough to process it.
Yeah.
Some people are just so oblivious to it.
Well, we saw the one school, mixed martial arts.
Right.
Instead of mixed, it was mix.
Right.
Which is
like it's saying something different. Words mean things.
We're gonna mix it up.
I remember I made that video.
Yeah, right? That was a while ago. It was a good one, cargo cult video.
And in that video, I talked about, drawing the parallel to the actual historical cargo cults. You go to some of these traditional martial arts schools that are now all MMA schools, but it's like you walk in and you see the straw and bamboo gloves.
Yeah.
The straw and bamboo headgear.
Yep.
And because these are people who have no understanding of what the thing actually is, but are doing their best to mimic, I remember back in the day, Tiger Showman's, I had it out for Tiger Showman's. I was emotional to some extent, I admit it now. But one of my biggest criticisms was I couldn't understand why a karate school would represent themselves as a grappling and eventually MMA school. So obviously the motivations is, number one, MMA is awesome, and I could see how somebody who's in martial arts his whole life, wanted to be involved with MMA. And as far as the grappling, it's like, well, not only is grappling awesome, but if you're talking about business, like, you got to sell what people are buying.
Yeah.
But I resented the fraudulent nature of presenting yourself as an authority in something that you are clearly not.
Yeah.
Like, one of the things that go on with a lot of traditional schools is you'd be, Joe Blow Karate, that's the name of your school for the past 30 years, and all of a sudden you're Joe Blow MMA.
Yeah.
And Joe Blow hired some Brazilian guy to teach jiu-jitsu in his school, and some, fucking Thai guy to teach Muay Thai.
Yeah.
But it's all under Joe Blow Karate or Joe Blow MMA.
Yeah.
It's like Joe Blow's never learned any of this shit.
Nope.
But suddenly he's, presented as
he's the authority of MMA. Yeah.
So the cargo cult could be number 2, the I'm just like you.
Yep.
Or it could be a little bit of the tard.
Yeah.
A little bit of the guy that doesn't know any better.
Yeah, if they don't know any better, they would be the tard. If they're doing it on purpose.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a good distinction. So let's get on to I guess let's review real quick. So number 1 is the look at me.
Look at me.
Number 2, the I'm just like you. Number 3, the that isn't cool anyway.
That's a funny one.
And number 4, The tard.
The retard, yeah.
So let's get on to unicorn.
Unicorn.
Joe Rogan.
Joe Hogan.
Joe Rogan. I always try to tell myself, don't be emotional when talking about Joe Rogan. It does. I admit it doesn't always work. So lately, there was this guy, Owen Benjamin. I talked about this in a live video the other day. But just to summarize, this guy, one of my former students sent me a video. Oh, you got to check this out. It's this guy, Owen Benjamin, saying, Joe Rogan's a douchebag, something like that.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, I agree. So I watched the video. And
give it a
Like,
shot.
all right, this guy's complaints, a lot of complaints that, or criticisms that I've shared over the years. And this guy seems to be a former, ally or acquaintance or friend of Joe Rogan's, the guy Owen Benjamin. And I never heard of him before then. Actually, it's not true, but I'll get to that. I didn't think I've ever heard of him until then. So I watched a whole bunch of his videos. I was on a drive, commuting, 2-hour trip.
Yeah.
And the first video that he had was like, 15 minutes. And I watched a bunch of other videos. And I'm like, all right, this guy's calling out a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
Like for being full of shit. Being, basically merchants, shilling for fucking their interests and stuff. And I'm like, all right, I can get on board with this. So I'm like, when I get back to my office, I get to the school, I'm like, I'm going to check out his YouTube page.
Yeah.
So I take this trip, watching all his videos. I get here at some point, I'm like, let me check out that guy's YouTube page. And the first thing is a video that says I was wrong about Joe Rogan. I was like, motherfucker.
That's funny.
I started watching it. And basically Joe Rogan called him after all these things. And, they spoke about whatever they spoke about. But this guy basically put his tail between his legs and was like, I was acting like an ex-girlfriend. I was being like, very self-deprecating. And it's like, well, the thing is, a lot of the criticisms that he made are still valid.
Yeah.
Factual criticisms.
Yes. But he made a retraction.
Right. So even though you get along with the guy now, that still exists.
It does.
So it just means now that you're okay with all of that because he called you and you guys made or maybe
made nice.
Now that Owen Benjamin's got a Netflix special out.
Maybe.
But the reason I didn't make Owen Benjamin the unicorn on Posers is because it turns out I had heard of Owen Benjamin before.
Okay.
He was the guy, probably the only guy I saw, that when Anthony Bourdain offed himself, made a video that said Anthony Bourdain is a coward.
Okay.
So I was like, all right. So this guy, the whole Joe Rogan thing, not a good look. But he's putting himself out there.
Okay.
Almost to a fault.
Yeah. Yeah. That wasn't a very popular opinion to hold.
Right. And I remember holding it and having to, argue with a bunch of people over
it. A bunch of people that never met that guy in their life.
Right. But one of the things so I decided to make Joe Rogan the unicorn because, number one, I can't fucking stand Joe Rogan. But number two, if you're talking about posers, Joe Rogan is somebody who poses as an authority on MMA.
Yep.
He's never fought MMA.
No.
He's done Taekwondo, and he's a Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Yeah. He's competed in Taekwondo tournaments, and I don't know how high level a Taekwondo-er he is. Yeah. A Taekwondo-er. Taekwondo-er. I don't know how high level a Taekwondo-er he is. And Jiu-Jitsu, I don't know if he's ever competed in Jiu-Jitsu.
I don't think so. I don't know.
But
I've never seen anything or heard about it.
Everybody sees him as this tough guy.
Yeah.
And compare him to the average person, I'm sure he is more formidable than your average guy. He's a jiu-jitsu black belt at a minimum. He's a taekwondo-er. But two tough guys, or just to MMA fighters, you're not one of us. You fought MMA twice. Yeah. I fought MMA. It's something that if you're talking about posers, I think Joe Rogan benefits from a lot of posing. Yeah. Is it posing or posering?
Posing.
Posing makes more sense, right?
Yeah, a lot of posing, a lot of posturing.
Posturing, right? I want to say posturing, but it's not.
It's not. Posing is good.
Posing.
Posering sounds like something we made up.
Right. It's all fucking.
Yeah, it's all.
So, Like Joe Rogan is somebody who is like
Posery.
poser. So he's somebody who benefits from the image of him being a tough guy.
Yeah.
I don't think Joe Rogan's a tough guy at all. He also benefits from this image of being insightful.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan is a pothead who is very, very wealthy. Now, if there's anything Joe Rogan deserves credit for, in my opinion, it is the fact that he knows how to put himself in high leveraged positions.
100%. Yeah.
You know, being the commentator for the UFC, which is, he is basically the voice and the face of what was the fastest growing sport on the planet.
Yeah.
There is a tremendous benefit to being the guy sitting in that seat. He also gets to be the color commentator. He's not the Goldberg guy with the weird piranha smiles and, like always making faces.
Yeah, that guy's fun.
Joe Rogan got to be the personality. He got to be the one that was given the credibility of knowing what was going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Not the play-by-play, but
now, he's never fought MMA, but he gets to be the guy who gets to be the authority on what's happening during the MMA fight.
Especially when rubber guard happens.
Right. And it's because of his jiu-jitsu background.
Yeah. Trains
with 10th Planet, all the rubber guard bullshit.
Yep.
Like, the rubber guard at MMA is complete bullshit, in case you don't know. A lot of people listen to this don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about.
True. But
so the thing is, Joe Rogan, I think, has probably benefited financially and, I guess, in a popularity sense from being a poser more than anybody that I know of. Yeah. Joe Rogan is MMA's number one fan, and I would say the ultimate poser. Joe Rogan is an idiot. There are certain topics you'll hear him talk about. See, now the one thing is he's a fence rider, so that's an old criticism that is very commonly shared, that Joe Rogan is never going to go so far in one controversial area that it's going to fuck up his bottom line.
No.
Right? So he's that fence rider merchant persona. But when you hear him try and intellectualize about certain topics, he's very prone to tantrums. And the more successful he has become, the more prone he has become. So, have you ever hear him... now, mind you, I don't watch his episodes.
Yeah.
I'm not subscribed to his podcast, but you see these clips that are shared all the time.
Like the Ted Nugent clip. I saw that one.
Right, the Ted Nugent clip is an example. There was this clip of Candace Owens, the black chick.
Yeah, I know. She was on there? I didn't see that.
She was on there. And they get into this argument about it was climate change. Yeah, I think it was climate change.
Okay.
And basically she's like, well, I don't, believe in climate change. I don't sign off. And he was talking to her like she was a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
So it's like, hold up a second. Are you a fucking climate change expert, Joe Rogan?
Where's your lab coat?
So first of all, the amount of disdain you can have for somebody's opinion on climate change should be limited, in that you're not a fucking expert on climate change either.
100%, yeah.
So the caveat to whatever position that you want to share needs to be, by the way,
I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I'm a climate change idiot.
Yeah, true.
So, but that is the level of authority you should have in your voice.
Yeah.
He's talking to her like Candace Owens is 10 times smarter than Joe Rogan. Candace Owens is a lady. She conducts herself like a lady. And she was being very reserved and respectful during this interaction with Joe Rogan. Because let's face it, why is everybody looking to get on the Joe Rogan show? Because Joe Rogan has the most popular podcast on the planet. If you get on Joe Rogan, you're going to have 1 million people looking and listening to you.
Yeah.
You can't buy that type of exposure. If Joe Rogan called me today and said, listen, I hear you got it out for me. I want you to come on my podcast and debate me about it, talk about it. I'm never going on Joe Rogan's podcast. On principle.
Yeah, I get it.
Like, fuck you. I don't care.
Yeah.
Candace Owens did not say fuck you. Candace Owens is doing her job. She's she's trying to
different.
Put herself out there and share content, and Joe Rogan proceeds to tell her that basically she's an idiot for not believing in climate change. And you hear her trying to rationalize her position to him, or explain it. I don't have to rationalize it. Explain it to him. And he just refuses to accept it. She's basically saying, well, I don't know enough about it to have an opinion, and she says, I'm not going to die on that hill. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, this is not, I get it.
My thing.
That's a great way to put it.
And he just refuses to let it go.
Yeah.
He's the one that gets slapped. Right?
Yeah.
When they
Sean
just
Connery.
can't let it go.
They just can't let it go.
So.
Yeah.
I saw the one when he had with Crowder. Did you see that one?
Part of it.
Over a pot? Over weed?
I saw part of it. I don't watch that show at all.
So, I saw the clip. So, Steven Crowder, I like Steven Crowder. He got into a disagreement with the fucking pothead, Joe Rogan,
it's a rough one.
over pot. So it's like, if you don't smoke weed, Joe Rogan's got a problem with you.
Immediately.
Crowder was like, yeah, I'm not into that. I don't believe that it's as harmless as you're saying it is. But pretty much like, listen, we don't have to have this argument.
Like, we all know what you fucking think. We don't need to get into this.
Right? And Crowder's like, anti-drug or like he's a Christian. He's, Boy Scout type.
Yeah.
It's like, they're going to have a difference of opinion. Joe Rogan went above and beyond.
Yeah.
So now here's the thing, though. Crowder's got a huge following. There was a backlash. Joe Rogan had to come and apologize publicly. He went on Crowder's podcast. And what he did to Crowder, he's done to so many people.
Yeah.
Why do the public apology to Crowder? Because it fucked with his bottom line.
Yeah, it fucked with his business.
Joe Rogan, the ultimate poser.
Yeah. It fits.
Power player.
Power player.
My man.
Yeah.
Jesse Lee Peterson. I cannot explain to you how much I love Jesse Lee Peterson.
He's fucking hysterical.
Jesse Lee Peterson is as awesome a guy as you will meet. Jesse Lee Peterson is not curing cancer.
No.
He's
Doesn't
not
claim
designing the new iPhone.
Nope.
He's not going to do it.
No.
But if you want to talk about somebody who is as congruent a man as you could find, Jesse's your guy.
Yeah, 100%.
JLP all day long.
JLP.
So Jesse Lee Peterson has his own podcast and radio show. Conservative, Christian, black. Black is the ace of spades, by his words.
Black
he
is
doesn't
night.
have a
Black
afro. He has an Amerifro.
Amerifro.
He says. Jesse Lee Peterson calls Donald Trump the Great White Hope.
That's awesome.
Calls Obama the fallen messiah. Fucking amazing. The thing about Jesse Lee Peterson that I absolutely love is that his understanding and commitment to his positions are as polished as you will find.
100%.
I'm not saying I agree with everything, obviously. He is Team Juicy.
Yeah.
Christian.
Yeah, he's all the way.
Some Jesus.
100%.
But when you hear him talk about, he doesn't have hate in his heart anymore. He has perfect peace.
Perfect peace.
His perfect peace has every hate in his heart. It's fucking hysterical because he has people come on and call him Coon, Uncle Tom, Oreo, like sell out. Like he gets it from every different side. And he never misses a beat.
He just stay. My favorite one was they get so mad at him they go to leave. He's like, "Oh, you're just gonna leave? You're just leaving now? You don't want to talk anymore?" Like, but he's just even keel. Oh, you're gonna go?
The chicken song for them, and they left.
Fucking
chicken song.
Amazing.
Oh, he's fucking awesome. So if we're talking about a poser, like and the goal is obviously to not be a poser. I think Jesse Lee Peterson is about as real as it gets. I remember, I don't know if it was Larry Elder that was telling a story about Jesse Lee Peterson. He was saying, like paraphrasing, of course, he was like, I wasn't sure about Jesse Lee Peterson because he talks a good game.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, this guy can't be about this. Like, he can't be. And he says he remembers he was invited to Jesse Lee Peterson's house at one point, and there were like people living on his couch.
Oh yeah.
Like guys, like he gave a chance, like just come stay with me for as long
Yeah.
as you want. And so like Jesse Lee Peterson was about that life.
Yep.
As,
He walks
as
the walk.
much as one should be.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, it's not curing cancer, and he loves him some Jesus.
Loves the Jesus.
Team Juicy all day long. But those aren't bad traits necessarily. It's the things that he has under his control. Like he squared them away at a level that most men could look to and learn something from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so posers.
Posers.
Wrap it up, Pat.
Cool. Don't be a fucking poser. Like, that's it. Don't be a fucking poser. You're full of shit. Stop being full of shit. If you want to be about it, be about it. But don't be full of shit and don't be a fucking poser.
Agreed. I'd say if you are setting your mission up to acquire something, that you'd have to be somebody else in order to achieve, then you should look inside and ask yourself if your mission could not be improved. There's nothing worth getting in this life, on this world, in this reality, that is worth you not being proud of who you are. Thank you, folks, for listening. Great talk, as usual. The Pressure Project is our website. Info@The Pressure Project is our contact email. ThePressureProject.com is the website. Go to the Master Chim letter at masterchim.com. Put your email in. Go to thewarriorproject.com and check out our membership site. All that being said, we appreciate you and the time that you spend hanging out with us during these episodes. Feels good to be back. Pressure Project forever.
100%.
You guys are awesome. Talk to you guys soon. And as always, brothers and sisters, pressure to motherfucking power.